The Boondokl Bedtime Stories by Dr. Robert Lefevre. Number 13. The journey from the black household to the poodle household went well. Everybody arrived safely. "Well, hello," said Ali to her cousins Sam, Phoebe, Chloe and Robin and Jemima. "How are you?" "Very well," they all said. And then they all said, "Happy birthday, Alice." "Thank you," said Alice, glad to be the centre of attention on this special day. "It's nice to be here with you all." "Would you like to see what we've done for you?" asked Sam, hoping that Alice would really like all the bridges and tunnels and runs that had taken them such a lot of work to create. "I would love it," said Alice, very excited already. Sam led the way through to Beatrice Poodle's bedroom. Robin opened the door with his special unfastened programme, and all 8 Boondokl stood there looking at the wonderful creation. There were more bridges and tunnels and runs than they had ever made before. They went absolutely everywhere, all over the floor and all over the dressing table and in and out of the chair legs and behind curtains and round and under the wardrobe and onto both bunks of the bed. It was fantastic, really fantastic. "Would you like to play a special game?" asked Sam, hoping, as all the other Boondokl did, that she would choose their very special favourite game. "Yes," said Alice, but just to tease them, she didn't say what it would be. She is a bit of a tease, and Charlie knows that, and really rather likes it because, as he said, it's not good to be too good. "Which game would you like best?" asked Sam, and they all held their breath. Follow my boondok." "Hooray, hooray, hooray," said all the other Boondokl, because that is their very favourite special game, even more than pick-a-sticks. So Alice started, because it was her birthday. She started off in the run that went under the chair legs, winding in and out. Each of the other Boondokl followed her, with Sam coming last. He is the largest of the Boondokl, being 1 inch taller than the average 4 inches of the others. This means that he's sometimes slightly too big for the bridges and tunnels and runs that a smaller Boondok has made. It doesn't really matter, because they can easily be made again, with a lot of scuffling and rustling and huffing and puffing and grunting and squealing and sighing and panting. But when they play Follow My Boondok, it's nice for everyone to have a go before they have to stop for repairs. Then Alice got up onto a cushion, and then she held onto the curtain and climbed up it, so that she was able to get onto the top of the dressing table. All the Boondokl followed her. They had to be particularly careful not to disturb the glass bowl with Beatrice Poodle's 2 goldfish, Fish and Fish. Everybody had followed at a safe distance, all spread out, so that they weren't all hanging on the curtain at the same time, which might have pulled it down. They didn't want that, because it would spoil the game, and also because it would get Beatrice into trouble, and that wouldn't be very friendly. Boondokl liked to be friendly. When they were all on top of the dressing table, it was very crowded, and they had to be careful not to push all Beatrice's things off onto the floor. But they particularly enjoyed seeing themselves in the mirror. Charlie put on his fearful grin, and Chloe, the youngest and most nervous of the Boondokl, was suitably frightened. "Whoa!" she said. "I think I'm going to faint." "No, you won't," said Alice. "He does that to me all the time. You get used to it." Phoebe was also helpful to Chloe, because she's the gentle Boondok and doesn't want anybody to be frightened or hurt. Nor did Ali. She likes being with her cousins so much that she always wants things to go really well. Only Robin really saw the funny side of Charlie's fearful grin, and he made it worse by sending a B-mail to everyone else, saying, "Whoa!" This made Chloe nervous again, but Sam, the responsible and kind and larger Boondok, was able to make sure that she was all right. This was important particularly because the next part of the run meant going down the curtain again until they reached the floor. On this occasion, Sam went just ahead of Chloe, so that if she slipped, she'd be protected by landing on him. The crash might hurt him a bit, but he didn't mind that, if it meant that he was protecting Chloe. The next part of the run was a very complicated arrangement. using lots of toys and a bridge made out of plasticine and picker sticks, and then going round and under the wardrobe. They all enjoyed that part so much that Alice went round it again, and everyone else had to follow. Then the run went under the bed, and it was very dark. Robin had made it especially dark by hanging a blanket off the side of the bed, so that no light could get in and no dark could get out. Robin is used to living under a bed most of the time, so he didn't mind at all, but some of the others, particularly Chloe, found it quite frightening, really. But they knew that no harm could come to them, because Sam would make sure of that. There were all sorts of unexpected things under the bed, such as tennis balls and an odd sock of Beatrice Pootle's, and some of the hotels and houses from a game of Monopoly, and 2 old balloons that had lost all their air, and some picture books stood up on their edges so that Boondokl had to crawl underneath between the open pages. And they found a story called What I Did in My Holidays that Beatrice had once written for school homework. She'd lost it, but her teacher had never really believed that she'd written it at all. The Boondokl never knew what they might come across next in this part of Follow My Boondock, under the bed. That was the fun. Then there was a special pulley arrangement that Sam had made with a dressing gown cord hooked through the end of the top bunk. Each Boondock in turn was hauled to the top by the other Boondokl, pulling the other end of the cord. The last one was Sam, and everybody in the top bunk pulled on the cord to make sure that he came up safely and joined them. On the top bunk were all sorts of games: snakes and ladders, ludo, dominoes, and of course plasticine and picker sticks, joining everything together in specially made bridges and tunnels and runs. Then finally there was a new creation. They'd never tried this before. It was made out of one of Beatrice Pootle's shirts. The front buttons had been done up, and, this was the difficult bit, the tails of the shirt were tied together. Then the cuff of one arm of the shirt was open on the top bunk of the bed, and the cuff of the other arm was open onto the lower bunk. What each Boondock had to do was to get into the cuff at the top, which had been carefully tied to the bed head with string through the buttonhole, and then slide down the tunnel, past the knotted shirt tails and the buttoned-up collar in the middle, and then down the other arm until they came out of the other shirt cuff and landed on the lower bunk. "Whee!" said each of the Boondokl as they went down the shirt slide and landed softly on the lower bunk. "Whoa!" said Chloe, the youngest and most nervous of the Boondokl. They all agreed that this was the greatest creation ever. Alice said that she enjoyed this party more than any party that she had ever been to. To be continued.